Namaste dear students, welcome to your channel Virtual Master. In the previous session we have solved few numericals and multiple choice questions related to the kinematic equations, isn't it? In this session we are going to discuss about the relative velocity of the object. Now in this session we are going to cover the definition of relative velocity. Then we are going to discuss the position time graph of the relative velocity in different cases. And at the end, we are going to solve few numericals and multiple choice questions related to the relative velocity of the object. Okay. For the better understanding of the concept, please watch this video till the end. And if you have not subscribed our channel till now, subscribe our channel. And to get the notifications of all our video uploads, press the bell icon. You can also follow us on our Facebook page and Instagram. The link for the Facebook page and Instagram will be given in the description. Okay. Already we have discussed about the velocity of an object. Now let us try to understand the relative velocity of an object. To understand this better, let us take one example. Let us consider two cars, car A and car B are moving on the road. Okay, as you can see here, car A and car B are moving on the road. Let the velocity of car A be 50 km per hour and velocity of car B is 60 km per hour. As we have already discussed, if we want to measure the velocity of any object, we need one reference point, isn't it? Generally, for a moving object or the vehicles, we take earth or road as the reference point, isn't it? So, in this case, we are measuring the velocity of car A and car B by taking road as the reference point. That is, we are measuring the velocity of car A and car B with respect to the road, and it is equals to 50 km per hour and 60 km per hour, isn't it? Suppose if I measure the velocity of car B by taking car A as the reference point, okay, instead of taking the road as reference point, I am taking car A as the reference point to measure the velocity of car B. Then that type of velocity is called relative velocity of car B with respect to car A. Okay, so if we have two moving objects, okay, if we have two moving objects and if we measure the velocity of one object with respect to the another moving object, then that type of a velocity is called as relative velocity of an object. I will repeat the definition once again. Suppose if we are having two moving objects and if we measure the velocity of one object by taking another object as the reference point or with respect to the another object, then that type of a velocity is called as relative velocity of the moving object. Okay, I hope everyone have understood the definition of relative velocity of an object. Now, how to measure the relative velocity of an object? There are two cases to measure the relative velocity of an object. The objects can be moving in the same direction or the objects can be moving in the opposite direction. Okay, there are two cases. In the first case, the objects can be moving in the same direction. In the second case, the objects will be moving in the opposite direction. Okay, so we have a different formula for both the cases. In our first example, car A and car B are moving in the same direction, isn't it? In this case, if I want to measure the relative velocity of car B with respect to car A, then I have to subtract the velocity of car A from car B. Okay, here Vb is the velocity of car B and Va is the velocity of car A, and relative velocity of car B with respect to car A will be equals to Vb minus Va. That is, if I want to measure the relative velocity of car B, I have to subtract the velocity of car A from car B. Okay, this is the first case when both the cars are moving in the same direction. Suppose if we have two cars moving in the opposite direction, as you can see here, car A and car B are moving in the opposite direction. In this case, the relative velocity of car B with respect to car A will be equal to sum of velocity of car B plus velocity of car A. Okay, that is, whenever the objects are moving in the opposite direction, the relative velocity will be equal to the sum of the individual velocities of the objects. Okay, in our case I am explaining with the example of the two cars which I have taken. Okay, suppose in general also you can use the same formulas. I hope everyone have understood how to find the relative velocity of the object when the objects are moving in the same direction and when the objects are moving in the opposite direction. Okay. In our case, in the first case, both the cars, car A and car B, are moving in the same direction, isn't it? Okay. Here is the first case where the cars were moving in the same direction, isn't it? Now in this case the relative velocity of car B with respect to car A will be equals to Vb minus Va. And what is the velocity of car B? It is 60 km per hour. And what is the velocity of car A? It is 50 km per hour. And it will be equals to 10 km per hour. That is relative velocity of car B with respect to car A when the car A and car B are moving in the same direction will be equal to 10 km per hour. And in the second case, when the cars are moving in the opposite direction, then relative velocity will be equal to sum of the individual velocities of the car, isn't it? That is Vb plus Va. It is 60 plus 50. It is equals to 110 km per hour. Okay. This is how you have to find the relative velocities of the objects moving in the opposite direction and moving in the same direction. Okay, I hope everyone have understood the concept of relative velocity properly. Now let us discuss the position time graph of the relative velocity in different cases. In the first case, we are going to plot the position time graph when the two objects are moving with the same velocity. Okay, let us consider two cars, car A and car B, and these two cars are moving with the same velocities. As you can see here, car A and car B are moving with the same velocities. If car A and car B are moving with the same velocities, then the relative velocity between car A and car B will be equal to 0. Okay, as we have already discussed, if the two cars are moving in the same direction, then relative velocity of car B with respect to car A will be equal to VBA, which is nothing but VB minus VA. Since VA is equals to VB, so it will be equal to 0, isn't it? So if two objects are moving with the same velocity, then the relative velocity between the two objects will be always equal to 0. And if we plot the position time graph of car A and car B, we are going to get a curve which will be in a straight line and parallel to each other, isn't it? Why they are parallel to each other? Because the distance between the car A and car B will remain same throughout their journey. That's why the curve of car A and car B will be always parallel to each other, or I can say the difference in the positions of car A and car B will be same or constant. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to plot the position time graph of the two objects moving with the same velocity. Okay, now let us discuss the position time graph when the velocity of car A is more than the velocity of car B. As you can see here, the velocity of car A is more than the velocity of car B. That is, car A is moving with a higher speed than car B. So the distance between car A and car B goes on increasing. Why? If we use the relative velocity formula, that is, if we find the relative velocity of car A with respect to car B, that is VAB will be equals to VA minus VB. Since VA is greater than VB, so the difference between VA and minus VB will be always positive. Okay, since the velocity of car A is more than the velocity of car B, then the difference VA minus VB will be always positive, which means the distance between car A and car B goes on increasing after each second. And if we plot the position time graph of these two cars, car A and car B, then we are going to get the curve similar to this one. And you can see here, the separation between curve A and curve B is goes on increasing after each second. Okay, you can easily observe this, the separation between the curve A and B, and it is increasing after each second. Why? Because the distance between car A and car B is increasing. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to plot the position time graph when the velocity of one object is more than the velocity of the other object. Okay. Now let us draw the position time graph in the third case when the velocity of car B is more than the velocity of car A and car A is starting early. Okay. If velocity of car B is more than the car A, then naturally car B is going to overtake the car A. And if you find the relative velocity of car A with respect to car B, okay, that is VAB will be equals to VA minus VB, and it will be negative. Okay, the relative velocity of car A with respect to car B will be negative. Why? VB is greater than VA. Okay, and if we plot the position time graph of the car A and car B, then we are going to get a curve similar to the one which is shown in the diagram. You can see here the curve of car B is more steeper than the curve of car A, and at time t dash curve of car B is crossing the curve of car A, which means after time t dash car B is going to overtake the car A. Okay, I will repeat once again. After the time t dash or at the time t dash, the curve of car B is crossing the curve of car A, which means car B is overtaking the car A after t dash seconds. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to plot the position time graph of the two cars in the third case. Okay, now let us solve the first question of our session. The question is, two trains A and B are moving on two parallel tracks. Train A moving with a speed of 54 km per hour from west to east on one track, and train B is moving with a speed of 90 km per hour from east to west. Okay. Find the relative velocity of B with respect to A. Okay. There are two trains which are moving on a parallel tracks. As you can see here, there is one train A and another train is B, and they are moving on a parallel tracks. Okay, train A is moving with a speed of 54 km per hour, that is VA is given velocity of train A, that is speed of train A, and it is moving with a speed of 54 km per hour. And what else is given? The speed of train B is given and it is equals to 90 km per hour. Okay, that is VB is given. How much it is? 90 km per hour. Now, what you have to find? We have to find the relative velocity of train B with respect to train A. That is, we have to find relative velocity of train B with respect to A, and it is how much? Okay, train A is moving from the west to east direction, that is from this direction to this direction, and train B is moving from east to west direction, that is it is moving in this direction. Okay, let us see that how train will be moving. You can see here train A is moving from west to east direction, whereas train B is moving from east to west direction, and the speed is given. Train A's speed is 54 km per hour and speed of train B is 90 km per hour. Since the values are given in kilometer per hour, we have to convert this into meter per second for simplification. Now how to convert this into meter per second? Just multiply by 5 by 18. Okay, 54 into 5 by 18, and 18 ones are 18 threes are 54, so 3 into 5 it will be 15 meter per second. Similarly 90 into 5 by 18, and it will be equals to 25 meter per second. Now what we have to find? We have to find the relative velocity of train B with respect to train A, isn't it? So we have to find relative velocity of train B with respect to train A. Since two trains are moving in opposite direction to each other, So if you want to find the relative velocity when two objects are moving in opposite direction, then we have to add the velocities of each object, isn't it? That is, the relative velocity of train B with respect to train A will be equal to velocity of train B plus velocity of train A. Okay, VB plus VA, and it will be equal to 25 plus 15, and it will be equals to 40 meter per second. Okay, relative velocity of train B with respect to train A is 40 meter per second, and the direction of this relative velocity will be from west to east direction. Okay, we have to mention that one also, west to east direction. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to solve this type of a question. Now let us solve the next question. Okay, now let us solve the next question. The next question is, a jet plane traveling at the speed of 500 km per hour ejects its products of combustion at the speed of 1500 km per hour relative to the jet plane. What is the speed of the latter with respect to an observer on the ground? Okay. Now let us try to understand the question. What are the things given? That is, a jet plane is traveling with the speed of 500 km per hour. Okay. We all know that a fire or smoke will be ejected from a jet plane, isn't it? And the relative velocity of that smoke or the fire is given as 1500 km per hour relative to the jet plane. That is, the relative speed of this smoke with respect to the jet plane is given how much? It is 1500 km per hour. Now what he is asking? He is asking us to find the speed of the latter. Latter means it is nothing but the smoke. Okay. Okay. Latter means it is smoke. We have to find the speed of this smoke with respect to the observer on the ground. Okay. So I will try to explain the question once again. A person or a boy is observing a jet plane moving on the sky. Okay, and this plane is moving with a speed of 500 km per hour. Okay, we all know that all the planes will be ejecting smoke or fire from its backside, isn't it? And the relative velocity of this smoke or fire is 1500 km per hour with respect to the plane. And in this case, what we have to find? We have to find the speed with which this smoke is ejected from the plane. Okay. So the things which are given are the speed of the plane. It is VP. I will call it as VP. It is given as 500 km per hour. And the relative velocity of this smoke with respect to the plane is given. I will call it as relative velocity of combustible products with respect to the plane. I will write it as VCP is equals to how much it is given? 1500 km per hour. And what we have to find? We have to find the speed of the combustible products, that is nothing but the smoke or the fire that is coming out of the jet plane. Okay, so I will write it as Vc is equals to how much. Now the plane is moving in this direction, and we all know that the smoke or the fire will be moving in the opposite direction. It is moving in this direction, isn't it? So we can write the relative velocity of the combustible products with respect to the plane will be equal to Vp plus Vc. Okay, since the smoke and the plane are moving in the opposite direction, so the relative velocity will be equal to the sum of the velocity of the plane and the velocity of the smoke, isn't it? So Vcp will be equal to Vp plus Vc. Okay, now what we have to find? We have to find Vc, right? Therefore Vc will be equal to Vcp minus Vp. And what is Vcp? It is given as 1500 km per hour minus Vp is given 500 km per hour. So it will be equal to 1000 km per hour. Okay. Now this is the answer, that is the velocity of the combustible product with respect to the observer will be equal to 1000 kilometer per hour. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to solve this type of a question. Okay, now let us solve the next question. Now let us solve the next question. The next question is, on a two-lane road, car A is traveling with a speed of 36 km per hour. Two cars B and C approach car A in opposite directions with a speed of 54 km per hour each. At a certain instant of time, when the distance between AB is equal to AC, both being 1 kilometer, B decides to overtake car A before car C does. Okay, what should be the minimum acceleration of car B to avoid the accident? Now what is given here? Two-lane road is given, and on one lane car A is moving, and on another lane two cars, car B and car C, are approaching car A. Okay, and the speed of car A is 36 km per hour, and the speed of car B and car C is 54 km per hour. At a certain point of time, the distance AB is equal to AC. That means the distance between car A and car B will be equal to car A and car C. And that distance will be equal to 1 kilometer, which is given here. Okay. The distance between A and B is equals to how much? 1 kilometer. Similarly, the distance between car A and car C is how much? 1 kilometer. Okay. Now, car B decides to overtake car A. Now, what happens when the distance between A and B is equals to A and C? Car B decides to overtake car A. That means this car want to cross car A. And what should be the minimum acceleration of car B to avoid accident? Now, car B want to overtake car A before car C does. So, car B want to overtake car A before the car C and without causing any accident. That means without crashing each other, car B want to overtake car A. Okay. So, in order to overtake car A, the car B should increase its acceleration. So, first what we have to do? We have to find the time taken by car C to cross car A. Okay. First, we have to find the time taken by car C to cross car A. Then what we have to do? We have to find the acceleration required by car B to cross car A before time t seconds or within time t seconds. Okay. So first we have to find time taken by car C to cross car A. So what are the things given in the question? The things that are given in the question are speed of the car A, that is VA equals to 36 km per hour, and if I convert this into meter per second, I am going to get 10 meter per second. Similarly, speed of car B and car C is given, it is equals to how much? 54 km per hour, and if I convert this into meter per second, I will get 15 meter per second. Okay, the distance AB is equals to AC and it is equals to how much? 1 kilometer. So I will write D is equals to 1 kilometer and it is nothing but 1000 meter. Okay. Now, in order to find the time taken by car C to cross car A, we need to find the relative velocity of car C with respect to car A. Okay. After finding the time t seconds, then we have to use the formula S is equals to ut plus half at square to find the acceleration of car B. Okay. So let us try to find the relative velocity of car C with respect to car A and relative velocity of car B with respect to car A first. So relative velocity of car B with respect to car A, I will call it as VR1 will be equals to, since car B and car A are traveling in the same direction, so the relative velocity will be equal to the difference of velocities between car B and car A, that is VB minus VA, and VB is 15 meter per second, VA is 10 meter per second, it will be equals to 5 meter per second. Now let us find the relative velocity of car C with respect to car A. Since car A and car C are moving opposite to each other, then relative velocity of car C with respect to car A will be equal to the sum of the velocities of car A and car C. So I will write it as VR2. VR2 is the relative velocity of car C with respect to car A, and it will be equal to VC plus VA. It is nothing but 15 plus 10, 25 meter per second. Okay. Now let us find the time taken by car C to cross car A, and we can use the formula of velocity, that is velocity will be equals to distance traveled by time taken. Therefore time taken is equals to distance traveled by velocity. Here velocity is nothing but relative velocity of car C with respect to car A. I will write it as VR2. And what is the value of D? D is 1000 meter. 1000 divided by 25, and it will be equals to 40 seconds. Okay. Now let us use the value of t in the formula S is equals to ut plus half at square to find the acceleration of car B. Okay. Now what is S? S is nothing but the distance. It is equals to 1000 meter. 1000 meter, that is distance between car B and car A, and u is nothing but the initial velocity of car B with respect to car A. It is nothing but relative velocity of car B with respect to car A. It will be equal to 5 meter per second. Okay, 5 into t is just now we have found out 40 plus half at square, that is half into the a is nothing but acceleration which we have to find. T is just now we have found out, it is 40 square. Okay, after simplification we are going to get a equals to 1 meter per second square. Okay, this is how you can find the acceleration of car B with respect to car A. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to solve this type of a question. Now let us solve the next question. Now let us solve the next question. The next question is, a police car moving on a highway with a speed of 30 km per hour fires a bullet at a thief's car, speeding away in the same direction with a speed of 192 km per hour. If the speed of the bullet is 150 meter per second, with what speed does the bullet is going to hit the thief's car? Okay. Now what are the things given? On an highway, a police car is chasing the thief's car. Okay. And the police car is moving with a speed of 30 km per hour, and the thief's car is moving with a speed of 192 km per hour. And the police inside the police vehicle is going to fire a bullet at the thief's car. And the speed of that bullet is 150 meter per second. Okay, now what the question is, in the question it is asking that with what speed the bullet is going to hit the thief's car. Okay, we have to find with what speed the bullet is going to hit the thief's car. Okay, now first let us write what are the things given. The things that are given here is, first one, speed of the police car, that is I will write it as Vp, and it is given as 30 km per hour. And if I convert this into meter per second, I am going to get 30 into 5 by 18. It will be almost equals to, it will be equal to 25 meter per second. Now let us find the next what is given. The speed of the thief's car is given, and it is equals to 192 kilometer per hour. Let us convert this into meter per second. 192 into 5 by 18, it will be almost equals to 160 divided by 3 meter per second. Okay, now speed of the bullet is also given, it is equals to 150 meter per second. Okay, now these things are given in the question. Now what we have to find, with what speed the bullet is going to hit the thief's car. Okay, this we have to find out. In order to find with what speed the bullet is going to hit the thief's car, first we have to find the relative velocity between the police car and the thief's car, and I will call this as V VTP. Okay, relative velocity of thief's car with respect to the police car. I will call it as VTP. And then we have to find the relative velocity of the bullet, okay, with respect to the relative velocity of thief's car with the police car. Okay, what we have to do? Have to find the relative velocity of the bullet with respect to the relative velocity of thief's car with respect to police car. That speed will give the speed with which the bullet is going to hit the thief's car. Okay, so let us find the relative velocity of thief's car with respect to police car, VTP. Since the police car and thief's car are moving in the same direction, so relative velocity will be equal to the difference between the velocities of these two cars, that is police car and the thief's car. I will write it as VT minus VP, and it will be equals to, sorry, this is 25 by 3 meter per second. Okay, 160 by 3 minus 25 by 3. Okay, VT is 160 by 3, VP is 25 by 3, and it will be equals to 135 by 3. If I further simplify, I am going to get 45 meter per second. Okay, relative velocity of thief's car with respect to police car is 45 meter per second. Now if I find the relative velocity of the bullet with respect to this relative velocity, then I am going to get the speed with which the bullet is going to hit the thief's car. Okay, so I will call that relative velocity as VR. VR is equals to VB. Since bullet is also moving in this direction and this relative velocity is also directed in this direction only, so here I have to subtract the velocity of bullet minus relative velocity VTP. Okay, VTP, this will be equal to 150 minus 45, it is almost equal to 105 meter per second. That means the bullet is going to hit the thief's car with a speed of 105 meter per second. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to solve this type of a question. If you have any opinions or suggestions, you can write in the comment section. Okay, now let us solve our next question. The next question is, two trains A and B, 100-meter long and 60-meter long, are moving in opposite directions on parallel tracks. The velocity of the shorter train is 3 times the velocity of the longer one. If the train takes 4 seconds to cross each other, the velocities of the trains are, and 4 options are given here. Okay. Now, what is given in the question? In the question, it is mentioned that two trains are moving opposite to each other, and the length of one train is 100-meter and another train is 60-meter. Okay. Imagine this rectangular boxes as the train. Okay, there are two trains A and B, and one train is 100-meter long and another train is 60-meter long, and they are moving in opposite directions. Okay, now the velocity of the shorter train is 3 times that of longer one. Okay, I will call VA as the velocity of train A and VB as the velocity of train B. And what is given here? The velocity of the shorter train is 3 times the velocity of that of longer train, that is VB is equals to 3 into VA. Okay, and if the train takes 4 seconds to cross each other, okay, these two train takes 4 seconds to cross each other. Okay, time is also given here, t is equals to 4 seconds. Now in this case, what we have to find? We have to find the velocities of the train, that is VA equals to how much and VB is equals to how much. Okay, now let us try to solve. First, what we have to find? We have to find the relative velocity of the two trains. Okay, and the formula we can use is just the normal formula that we use for the to find the velocity of an object, that is distance traveled by time taken. Now in this case, the two trains are crossing each other, so the velocity will be equal to the relative velocity. And how much distance these two trains has to cross? These two trains has to cross 100 meter plus 60 meter, because they have to cross each other, right? So the total distance traveled by each train will be equal to 100 plus 60. It will be equal to 160 meter. Okay. Since train A is 100-meter long and train B is 60-meter long, if they have to cross each other means they have to travel 160 meter. Okay. Now D is given how much? 160 meter divided by T is how much? It is already given 4 seconds, and it will be equal to 40 meter per second. Okay. The relative velocity between train A and train B is equals to 40 meter per second. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to get the relative velocity if the two objects are moving opposite to each other. Now, what we have to find? We have to find the velocities of train A and train B. Okay, that is we have to find VA and VB. Since trains are moving in opposite direction, the relative velocity VR will be equals to VA plus VB. Okay, and what else is given? VB is equals to 3VA. So in place of VB, if I substitute 3VA, then what I am going to get? VR is equals to VA plus 3VA. It will be equal to, okay, I am going to write here, which will be equals to 4VA. And what is VR? Just now we have found out it is 40 meter per second. Therefore, VA will be equal to 10 meter per second. Okay. VA is equals to 10 meter per second. And VB is equals to 3VA. So naturally VB will be equals to 30 meter per second. So option A is the correct answer. That is VA equals to 10 meter per second and VB is equals to 30 meter per second. I hope everyone have understood how to solve this type of a question. Okay. Now let us solve the next question. The next question is a 120-meter long train A is moving in a direction with a speed 20 meter per second. A train B moving with 30 meter per second in opposite direction and 130 meter long crosses the train in time, and four options are given here. Okay. Now what is given in the question? In the question it is mentioned that there are two trains, train A and train B. Okay. Train A is 120-meter long and it is moving with a speed of 20 meter per second. Okay. Train A is 120-meter long. Okay, I have represented train with a rectangular box. Okay, it is just an imagination. Okay, and it is moving with a speed of 20 meter per second. So I will call the speed of train A as VA. VA equals to 20 meter per second. Now, train B is moving with 30 meter per second. That is, train B is moving with a speed of 30 meter per second. I will call the velocity of train B as VB, and it is equals to 30 meter per second. And it is moving in the opposite direction. Okay, if train A is moving in this direction, then train B will be moving in the opposite direction. Okay, now train B is 130 meter long. Okay, train B is 130 meter long. Now what he is asking? He is asking that how much time is required by the two trains to cross each other. So we have to find the time taken by the two trains to cross each other, and I will call that time as T, and we have to find that. Okay. Now, since two trains are crossing each other, the relative velocity of these two trains will be equal to VR. I will call the relative velocity as VR, and it will be equal to distance traveled by two trains divided by time taken by the trains to cross each other. Now, since train A is 120-meter long and train B is 130-meter long, so the total distance traveled by the two trains to cross each other will be equal to length of train A plus length of train B. Okay, that is 120 plus 130, and it is equals to 250 meter. Okay. Now what we have to find? We have to find the time taken by the two trains to cross each other. So therefore T will be equal to D divided by VR. I am cross multiplying these two terms. Okay. Now in this equation we know the distance traveled by the two trains and it is equals to 250 meter, right? But we don't know the value of relative velocity. So first let us find the relative velocity of these two trains. And since the two trains are traveling in opposite direction to each other, then relative velocity will be equal to the sum of velocity of train A and velocity of train B. Okay. So VR will be equals to VA plus VB. And what is VA? It is given 20 meter per second. VB is given 30 meter per second. It will be equal to 50 meter per second. Okay. So if I substitute the value of D and VR here, then I am going to get D will be equal to 250 meter and VR is 50 meter per second. So after simplification I am going to get 5 seconds. So the correct answer is option D, none of the above. Okay. I hope everyone have understood how to solve this type of a question. If you have any comments or suggestions, you can write in the comment section. Okay. Now let us solve the next question. The question is, two trains are traveling with equal speed in opposite directions along two parallel tracks. If the wind is blowing with a speed u along the track so that the relative velocities of the trains with respect to the wind are in the ratio 1 is to 2, then the speed of each train must be, and four options are given here. Okay, let us try to understand the question. In the question it is mentioned that two trains are traveling with equal speed. Okay, there are two trains. I will call those two trains as train 1 and train 2, and I am representing trains with a rectangular box. Okay, it is just an imagination, and they are traveling with equal speed. Let V be the speed of the two trains. Okay, let V be the speed of the two trains, and these two trains are traveling in opposite directions. If train 1 is traveling in this direction, then naturally train 2 should travel in the opposite direction. Now if the wind is blowing with a speed u, let us consider a wind is blowing along the train 1. Okay, along the direction of the train 1, a wind is blowing and its speed is u. Now the relative velocities of the trains with respect to the wind are in the ratio 1 is to 2. That is, the relative velocity of train 1 with respect to the wind and the relative velocity of the train 2 with respect to the wind are in the ratio of 1 is to 2. Let us call relative velocity of train 1 with respect to the wind as VR1 and relative velocity of train 2 with respect to the wind as VR2, and it is given that VR1 is to VR2 equals to 1 is to 2. Okay, here it is given the ratio of relative velocities of the trains with respect to the wind are in the ratio of 1 is to 2. Now we have to find the speed of the each train, that is we have to find V is equals to how much. Since VR1 by VR2 will be equal to 1 by 2, since the ratio is 1 is to 2, so I can write VR1 by VR2 is equals to 1 by 2. Now what is VR1? It is the relative velocity of train 1 with respect to wind. Since the wind and the train 1 are traveling in the same direction, then the relative velocity will be equal to the difference between the velocities of train 1 and wind. Okay, so I can write V minus U, where V is the velocity of train 1 and U is the velocity of the wind. Similarly, VR2 will be equal to the relative velocity of train 2 with respect to the wind, and the wind and the train 2 are traveling in opposite direction, isn't it? So the relative velocity of the train 2 with respect to the wind will be equal to the sum of the velocity of train 2 plus velocity of wind, that is V plus U. Okay, now let us try to simplify this equation. V minus U by V plus U is equals to 1 by 2. So if I cross multiply, I am going to get V plus U equal to 2 into V minus U, that is V plus U equals to 2V minus 2U, and after simplification I am going to get V equals to 3U. That is the speed of the train. That is the speed of the two trains, train 1 and train 2 are 3 times the speed of the wind. So the correct answer is option A, 3U. Okay, I hope everyone have understood how to solve this type of a question. If you have any suggestions or opinions, you can write in the comment section. Okay. Till now we have discussed about the relative velocity, and also we have solved few numericals and multiple choice questions related to the relative velocity of an object. If you have any opinions or suggestions, you can write in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed our channel till now, then subscribe our channel. And to get the notifications of all our video uploads, press the bell icon. Okay? Thank you very much.